Today's top stories at NBR. New Zealand's top 200 technology companies record more than $10 billion in exports for the first time. Dairy giants' volume to value play, Allbirds on NASDAQ, and there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Thursday, November 4th. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. KiwiSaver provider Simplicity has launched a build-to-rent scheme with the aim of following the European model and investing a chunk of its funds in the asset class. Simplicity has joined forces with house builder NZ Living to create Simplicity Living. Construction is underway on its first two projects, a 132-unit development in the East Auckland suburb of Point, England, and a 60-unit site a few kilometres away in Oranga. Joining the NBR's Maria Slade was Sam Stubbs of Simplicity.
We have some pretty ambitious goals here. We're starting off with our first, 100 plus apartments in these two developments, but our intention ultimately is, like a European pension fund, to have between 5 to 20% of our money invested in this asset class. That's quite typical over in Europe and the States for a big pension fund. What that will ultimately mean is thousands of homes.
Sam Stubbs of Simplicity with Maria Slade there. New Zealand's top 200 technology companies recorded more than $10 billion in exports for the first time, underpinned by double-digit export growth in Australia, Asia, Europe and North America. Joining the NBR's Will Mace was Technology Investment Network MD Greg Shanahan.
This is the first full year of COVID in this report, and this is the strongest growth that we've seen in the tech sector, certainly in dollar value. So $1.4 billion of growth, 11.5% increase is incredible and certainly counterintuitive.
Technology Investment Network MD Greg Shanahan with Will Mace. Days after Fonterra forecast a record-equalling milk payout, the dairy giant is talking up its volume-to-value play in the form of a new partnership with private US biotech company VitaKey, whose co-founder also co-founded vaccine maker Moderna, to bring precision nutrition to Fonterra's products. Transformative is how the company described the collaboration, which will see Fonterra using VitaKey's patented delivery platform to design products that incorporate targeted and time-controlled release of specific dairy nutrients, starting with probiotics. The technology promises to stabilise nutrients, extending their shelf life and allowing nutrients to be more active and beneficial when consumed. VitaKey co-founder Robert Langer told journalists his company's technology has been proven in various nutrients, including vitamin D, to deliver the right amount in the right place of the right nutrient at the right time. Z Energy has reported a net profit of $92 million for the 6 months to September 30, compared with a loss of $58 million for the same period last year, driven primarily by rising crude oil and product prices. Chief Executive Mike Bennett said the company had performed well under difficult circumstances, but the lockdowns in the second quarter had trimmed $25 million off EBITDA, which would otherwise have been $140 million for the full 6 months. Some of New Zealand's key trading partners view us as isolated, unprepared and closed because of our handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, new research shows. The consumer research commissioned by government agency New Zealand Story is a follow-up study to work done a year ago on how New Zealand is perceived internationally. It revealed key shifts in the last 12 months and how our trading partners see us. Joining the NBR's Maria Slade was NZ Story CEO David Downs.
Because what it's telling us is that there isn't a single view of New Zealand. The world is a very dynamic place, and these different countries and markets see us relative to their own COVID response. So in some quarters, we're seen as being very, well prepared and running an extremely good approach, caring for people in place. In other countries, that, as you say, they're seeing us kind of less positively, and we just have to be conscious of that when we take ourselves to market, when we're either selling our products or services, or we're trying to promote New Zealand as a destination.
NZ Story CEO David Downs with Maria Slade there. Allbirds has debuted on the NASDAQ overnight as IPO participants, buying in at $15 US per share, saw the stock immediately open at US $21.21, valuing the company co-founded by ex-All-White Tim Brown at more than US $3 billion. The shoe and apparel company's share price, listed under the ticker BIRD, reached as high as US $32.44 before settling back to around $27.49 US at the time of writing, even though the company company is still loss-making, expecting a net loss of between 15 and 18 US million for the 3 months to the end of September. Co-founder Joey Zwillinger told CNBC Today that break-even was well within their sights. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow, Friday at NBR and Hunter's Corner, Tim Hunter says A2 Milk is still hopeless at delivering bad news, while Rachel Smalley's column ponders the pivotal moments as she celebrates her half-century. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow from around lunchtime for the morning's NBR trending stories, then same time, same place right here from 5:30 tomorrow and through the weekend for another NBR This Week.